collateral damage, but I'ma pay homage. I remember listening to music when I was in college. Even when I was young, I was always seeking the knowledge. Daydreaming of my wife's thighs, cause I love the fraudage. No cap, I'ma always keep it solid. Niggas asking me for crypto even though I lost my wallet. My clients, schizophrenic and psychotic. That's why my relationship with them is symbiotic. Nas said he remains flyest in the fat canias. I don't know what that means, but I pray to the most highest.
We must pay homage to him.
You know you're breaking my heart.
Yo, the manifesto, peep the manifesto. I'm flying on a plane from the north to archipelago. Your life's were bought in gold, even though it's hot and cold. What's going on, everybody? Happy weekend. Happy weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. You're strong, healthy. Let's get right into it, man. More Pulse Chain talk. More Pulse Chain talk, man. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All we can do is wait to see what materializes in the not so distant future, huh? Yeah, because we're in the game. We were bred for this. Well, I wasn't bred for the flim flam. I was not bred to be wrecked. Nah. You know, I was not bred to be bamboozled and hoodwinked and hosed. I mean, that's just simply not fair. It's not fair. Oh, but life isn't fair, right? It's crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy. In any case, yeah, we're gonna keep the tunes going, keep it moving, man. Yo, it's glaringly obvious at this point, just like before in other instances, it's just obvious that people are so unwilling to see the hypocrisy. They're just unwilling, on purpose, willfully resisting. That's something that needs to be, that's something that you have to take notice of. And sort of like, if it's important to you, maybe you want to analyze it a little further. And if it's not important to you, discard it. And for those in between, just tuck that in your pocket or under your sleeve or whatever. People are literally ignoring and pretending, dismissing, not addressing, the hypocrisy. I tell you, man. I tell you, you can't make this up. You can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. And to think, somewhere down the at some point recently, I read that they are trying to come out with another movie, The Highest of Stakes 2. Are you not ashamed of yourselves? Are you not embarrassed? No, they're not, because there is no shame in the game. They don't even care if they look like fools. They don't even care if they appear to be desperate. Right? Desperate to save the RH and what, his honor? Like, what do you need another movie for? The chain has been down and to the right since the first movie came out. Oh, you're gonna say that's not a fact? Oh, you're gonna say what? That's complaining? No, that's a truth. Can you believe that? These people trying to really come out with another Highest of stakes, part 2. The highest of grifts. Be creative with it. I don't even care if the messaging sounds crazy. It ain't as crazy as jumping on a stripper pole and spreading your legs wide eagle. It ain't as crazy as that. And also, it ain't as crazy as and inappropriate and cringeworthy as describing your member to a 19-year-old person who's interviewing you. It's not as crazy as that. These people are so backwards. It's like they live in reverse. Starting with the top guy. He'll tell the community, why are you crying? What you mean? What you mean, why am I crying? You know, what are you talking about? No, we're upset. Everything is down and to the right. Or you're supposed to be jumping and having a parade. Oh, you know, crying and this and that. Manliness is cool. And who speaks like that? Your man does. Your man does. Anyway. Oh, why are you crying? You know, crying and you want somebody to pump your bags. Meanwhile, there's so much evidence out there of you doing the same thing. You've done the same thing. What's good for the goose is not good for you? Bro, this guy, like, what are we working with here? That's your man's. And you can't separate him from the chain. Because 90% ownership is crazy. How do you separate 90% ownership from anything? Oh, I'm just going to separate that and worry about, you know, the 5 to 10% that's in the hands of everybody else. Well, we're going to concentrate on the 5 to 10% to go market, go grab the attention of everybody else in the world so they could start pouring money in here so the people could use them as exit liquidity. And help the founder, Mr. 95%, obfuscate and do whatever he needs to do to put more money in his pocket. I don't understand how these people think, bro. I really don't understand. And I'm not even trying to rationalize insanity, because that's what we're dealing with here. You're dealing with nothing but sheer stupidity and insanity. And it's looking crazy for the people who want to defend the hypocrisy. Because that's one thing where you don't say anything about it. You don't say anything about the contradictions. You don't say anything about anything. Even though you see it, you don't put yourself out there, even though you put yourself out there for everything else. You want to stream, you're going to want to get your likes, you want to get your views, you want to jump on the spaces, you want to talk. Do all this on social media. But when you witnessing the person with the absolute most power and resources and control wig the fuck out and flip-flop like Jay-Z's sandals on a beach and dismiss it and act like, oh, no, I don't see anything. You don't see this large mammal in the room. You don't see this huge elephant in the room. No, you don't see it, right? Meanwhile, you're suffocating. You're being suffocated because the elephant's trunks are slapping you around. You can't even go anywhere. But you're pretending like it's not there. And you're an influencer. You're a KOL in the community. You're some type of thought leader. You have a voice. Oh no, that's just too negative. No, it's not negative. It's the truth. What's negative is you acting like it doesn't exist. That's negative. That's what these people do not see. This is how fake, phony,
These people think that, we want to make the world a better, we want to, spread the good word and carry on and try to make the world a better place. And this is what we're going to do. And that's what needs to be done, and spread the word and stream and onboard and adopt and try to do all this, fill places up with people so they could hear the good word, the good word. It's all talk. It's all hot air. It's all nonsense at the end of the day. Because you watching how things are transpiring. And it's letting you know these people weren't about what they're talking about. They were full of shit. Come on, man. Come on, get with the program, folks. Get with the program. I know a lot of you believed in something. You thought it was good. You thought it had merit. You thought it was honorable. And little by little, you're witnessing something crumble. You're witnessing something change. And anytime you see him tweet, there's something in you that you're like, oh, maybe now we'll get something else, a message more hopeful. And it's nothing but absolute nonsense that he tweets about. Fall on your face with disappointment. Anytime he tweets, I know y'all are like, yo, what's he gonna say now? Is now the moment, this and that. He'll ask you some foolishness. He'll talk to you about some manliness is cool. He'll say something about why you crying, something about some stats that nobody cares about. Some information and data that no one cares about. After 2 years later, this community is operating with a headless leader. There is no leader. In other words, there is no leader. There's somebody who controls 90% who's acting like a child. A rambunctious child. Obnoxious. No one cares about your 3-minute workout. And it's not to be cold and mean. It's being absolutely truthful. People would care more about a 3-minute workout if you supported that and not flip-flop. People would care more about your ideas and thoughts and opinions about shit if you did not present consistent hypocrisy. They want you to go get more eyes. They want you to continuously market. How in good faith can you market a coin like Hex today? How? I could tell you how you can. You could lie about it. And it's not just about 10,000X, because that's not a lie, right? That's not a lie. But are you going to be truthful in how the 10,000X was achieved? Are you going to be truthful in what the staking mechanism is providing people who hold now? Are you going to be truthful to many things Hex related? And you think by spreading those truths, that's going to get people excited to want to buy, to want to invest, to want to stake? Today, stuff to think about, people. It's something people have to really consider. And in many cases, I already know it feels like the wheels have stopped turning. Everything has been at a screeching halt. I don't even need to look, any charts, whatever. This is not 4 years ago where you could go to some type of app and you watching like constant movement, constant volume, constant stakes being done, constant this and that. Folks are doing this, folks are doing that. Now it's just completely different. We have a chain now with a founder who's moving around like he's just distracted in other things that he could care less about. The fleecing and the grifting and the lying that's taking place on this chain, because he's become that. He's become a hypocrite. and has no shame about it either. Where you have to, people, come on now. It's been guessed already whether or not he even owns his account. And if he doesn't own his account, whoever is taking control of his account is making him look like a clown, more of a clown and an idiot every day that goes by. And I should say, not even every day that goes by, after each hypocritical tweet that they post, he looks more and more like a clown. Oh, reputation damaged. Visually, like all that damaged. And how does that help morale? They want to say, oh, don't blame the founder. Why are you blaming the founder? Did he force you? Did he force you? Did he force you? What you mean? This dude is holding a 90%, 95% clip of the whole operation that he represents, that everyone is invested in, that who knows about it. What you mean, don't blame him? What you mean, like he's absolved? What you talking about? No, we don't really know who owns the OA, but you do know who owns the OA, but we don't know who owns the OA, even though you do know who owns the OA, but you don't know who owns the OA, even though you do know. Stupidity, sheer stupidity. People are digging up his own old skeletons and bones in the closet. When folks have to go to those types of lengths, where they have to dig in your past, they have to dig in your history and dig up nasty things that's happened to a person. You know what that is? Is because people want answers. People are upset. And then you have a cadre of individuals who don't want folks to really speak, raise concern. They'll call you concern trolling. They'll call you a fudder. They'll call you someone who's broke. They try to demean you and shame you out of the community when that doesn't even hold any weight and water anymore. It just simply doesn't. Thanks to your man who consistently reaffirms his position of contradiction. And he's doing it very well, which should raise many eyebrows among the loudest voices in the community. But guess what happens? They choose to remain silent. They're doing somewhat of a reverse psyop on themselves, and then will try to directly tell people who are critical to not talk. What's the sense in talking? I don't see a purpose in it. Other people will say, oh, it's dangerous. It could be a dangerous game if you keep playing this critical game, critical analysis. In other words, if you're exercising your free speech, you can get in trouble. What are we? Living under a communist regime? Didn't we not sacrifice for freedom of speech, huh? At minimum, you want to joke at that? That was a joke then, huh? That must have been a joke. That must have been a joke. If you're not trying to gatekeep and censor people from talking and asking questions and sharing factual information and truthful information, then now you're borderline. You pro censorship. You're not about anything going on with what's happening here. You're not about blockchain and speech. That was all a gimmick. You see, that was all a gimmick. It was all a ruse. It was an illusion. Because look at how these people are operating here. They're not even exercising their better mind and judgment, folks. They're not even doing that. Because it's all about controlling the story. It's all about controlling the narrative. When you don't fight against the status quo. Hell, look at what was crypto even designed for? To go against the machine, to go against these central banks and government forces across the country that have been just keeping their people oppressed, financially oppressed for generations. Crypto is supposed to be groundbreaking. It's supposed to be an extreme disruptor in what's going on. And we're supposed to represent a certain aspect of it that's even more pure and closer to that truth. And you have folks in this shanty town of a community trying to silence you and keep you from speaking. What does that tell you? If that's not another example of internal hypocrisy and foolishness and absolute irony, I don't know what else is. Are you kidding me? I mean, but that's the nature of what we're dealing with. That such is the nature of the beast. I support free thinking, free speech, free thought. Just what then everything you did, everything as far as even at minimum, sacrificing for freedom of speech and freedom of movement or assembly or whatever you want to call it, however it was worded, was just all a lie. Absolutely, 100%. And if it was all a lie, if these people behaved that way, where it was just not real for them, it was all a lie, what they presented to the world, then how many other lies did they not present that's hiding in the shadows? This is the problem, right? Because people invested bread, they invested money. When I say bread, I mean money. That's how we, an analogy, an example, metaphor, whatever you want to call it. Put their time, their energy, and money. And I could understand some of where the silence, the people wanting to, don't say too much. No, shh, be quiet, don't speak. Because you're going to get Sack Daddy mad. So Sack Daddy is going to be mad, huh? And he's going to do something to harm his chain. Well, that means he's shooting himself in the foot. And he wasn't really about glory if he does that. If he shoots himself in the foot and does something to what? Punish people who are freely expressing themselves? He wasn't about free speech. He wasn't about achieving glory. If he even attempts to do something sideways, like wreck his whole operation, then what do you have? What will that tell you? What will that tell you? That's self-destruction in the purest form. No, he backed himself into a proverbial corner and he has to fight his way out. Fight his way. And for his sake, I hope he fights his way out doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. And not just the selfish thing. Because we know he don't like paying for meals. He had a Marine pay for his meal. You could tell the selfish game is crazy. Even though you try to pretend like you have nothing to do with these operations, I don't care if that was the play, where he had nothing to do, he is decentralized and all that, but somebody still wields 90% control. 90 plus. Even if it was 80. Even if it was 51%. There's an entity, there's a person, and everybody understands who it is that wields that much control. So folks try to detach him from the situation, and I don't even know why. What kind of mental jousting and mental warfare are you willing to put yourself through just to get by and through and see some type of investment grow over time? You talk yourself into some type, you self brainwashing yourself by buying into the nonsense and rhetoric. No. Wake up, it's over. Like all that stuff about no expectations, blah, blah, blah. SEC, they say July 6th is going to be the final of the final. There's no need to be playing these games anymore. Everyone had expectations. Does he not expect people to market? Did he not expect Vitalik to pump Ethereum? Does he not expect people to stop crying? Does he not expect people to stop complaining and blaming him? Does he not expect people to go get free airdrops? Does he not expect anybody on Ethereum to come to Pulse Chain? Does he not expect the community to work to spread the good word? There's expectations throughout this whole situation here. Stop Like the young people say, stop the cap. Stop the lying. Stop the deceit. Because it makes you look worse. And that's from him on down to everybody else who's presenting fake and presenting absolute falsehood and hypocrisy. When you don't address the hypocrisy, I have to question that person. Question the people who are not talking about it in a certain way, because by default, it's like you complicit. You for it. You don't. Doing nothing is doing something. Seriously. Seriously, and especially with the loudmouths. I'm one of the loudmouths, but I don't have a channel with 10,000 people watch, 5,000, 10,000, 6,000, 20,000, 30,000. No. You think I would change up my tune? Only way if I would change up my tune if I agreed with the nonsense that was taking place, and if I didn't want to do anything because I got paid to be quiet, right? If I accepted payment because I did something to fleece the community, I accepted payment to talk about some nondescript projects that harmed the community, right? I was on a payroll for doing something nefarious, then I could understand not saying anything and keeping my mouth shut, because I'm being puppeteered by a master and I'm their slave. That's not the case over here. That's why I'll continue to talk the way I have been. But others don't, that's on them. Only thing I could change is how I perform, but I could definitely talk about it. And that's it, people. And that's it. Hopefully you remain well. And, keep your heads on a swivel. Pay attention to what's going on out here. Don't buy into everything that people are telling you, including me. Do your own research now more than ever. Verify, and make sure you do what? You verify again. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.